Good morning, great morning, wonderful morning, spectacular morning, outstanding morning, magnificent morning, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious morning. Yes, again, the beautiful reminder of choice that we all have. Remember, everything is fundamentally meaningless. Everything just is. Nothing is good or bad. It's our thinking that makes it so. And it's that thinking that's happening inside, or should I say, the movement of ideas that's happening inside that determines the vibratory state that we are in. And that vibratory state is the attractive force in our life. It determines how much we earn, what we do for work, our lifestyle, relationships, all of it. And the best part is that you have control over what that automatic narrative can be. Now think about that. As within, so without. The within is ceaselessly becoming the without, is what James Allen talks about in Out from the Heart. And by controlling that, you can change everything. It's just a matter of exercising your mind and using the tools that you have, those higher mental faculties, your imagination, perception, reason, will, memory, intuition, to reshape and mold the patterns, the beliefs. See, that's all you have to change. It is that simple, but it's not easy. Why? Because within us, we do have beliefs and habits that are within us subconsciously that run 24 hours, 7 days a week, every single moment. But with that being said, it's still something that can be changed. You know, with what we've been studying, and that's this beautiful gem here, As a Man Thinketh and Out from the Heart, especially in Out from the Heart, where we're going to be getting into later on. He talks about how these beliefs and habits are not a fixed condition of things. They can be changed. Think of soil that's in the ground that has something planted in it. If you don't like what's planted there, you can weed it out and you can change it. Well, you can do the same thing when it comes to the ideas that are moving in your mind that are growing, regardless of whether or not you're knowledgeable about what they are. See, the ideas that are of positivity versus ideas that are of negativity, they grow just as abundantly. And the point with regards to that is whatever it is, you can change it. You don't have to consent to things as they are. See, that's what both Dolly and I have been working diligently on in ourselves. See, we go through things, we have our paradigms too, but the beautiful thing is that we have this information to help us to maneuver through it. That's why we became coaches and mentors initially with Bob Proctor. And then together we worked in our own individual way, using the material that he taught, using it in our lives, which then led to us being here with what we've created in Elevitality, leading to the building and creation of Emergence, which is the implementation tools that we have put together, the program that we put together to help to use this information. Because remember, knowledge has no power in and of itself. The only way that it has power is when it's used in your life, when it's applied. Now, with that being said, with that reminder, that's what we're going to continue to remind you of, because we're going to share with you a lot of really great things, but it's not going to help you unless it's used. And by the way, if you find that your results haven't been changing and then things have been pretty much the same, and yet you've been studying a lot of information about how to change that, you can trace it to implementation of the information. That's all that's been lacking. And really, that's it. Think about how you, for instance, may know that you've got to be decisive, and what may be happening in your life is procrastination. See, you know that you've got to be decisive. Well, why aren't you being decisive if that hasn't been happening? Well, it's just because you haven't been practicing it. And if it's difficult for you to be decisive, it's just because your conditioning doesn't recognize the conclusion. That's it. Which is why we have these calls daily, which is why we guide people to use this, because these calls are important to remind you, and then the implementation tools are necessary to help you to engage with them so that your results do change. So Again, use it. Okay. All right. So, with that being said, here again is the book that we've been studying. If you don't have a copy of this, get it. If you want this specific copy, which is the one that we published, by all means, just reach out to us and we will share with you where to get it. And then when you do get it, yes, read it. Yes, study it. Yes, memorize it. Yes, underline it, highlight it. But most importantly, apply it in your life. Okay, so you're ready? Type in the comments. I'm ready if you're ready. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go for it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, boom. Oh, you know what happened? It didn't work. It didn't show up. I thought that I connected that. So while I'm connecting this, let's all type in the comments this. Okay. As I thinketh in my heart, so am I. Okay. As I thinketh in my heart, so am I. Now, as you're doing that, I really want you to think about how important that is for you to get, because that is 100% a true statement. As you thinketh in your heart, so are you. I mean, this is the book that we're studying that actually emphasizes that heavily. All right, so let's go into this. Here it is. I got it done. All right, there we are. Now, here he was talking about oppressor and slave. That's what we were diving into from the last session. Remember how the oppressor is doing things to oppress people, that behavior, and then there's the slave who is in the behavior of being the slave. And what does he say? The truth is that oppressor and slave are cooperators in ignorance, and whilst seeming to afflict each other, are in reality afflicting themselves. So, in other words, someone who sees everything as oppression is literally engaging with the idea that they are a slave themselves because there's an oppressor there. And the same goes in the opposite direction. And this is an important thing because we've talked about this in many of the books that we've studied. We've gone over this in many, many ways. You will never be able to get what you want if you're focusing from what you don't want. If you want to be wealthy, you can't make the enemy people who are wealthy. And that's happening a lot today. I mean, you see it. It's everywhere in society. Oh, those rich people, they're not paying their fair share, all of that stuff. And it's just like, what the heck? And the people are wanting money. They're wanting it in their life, but they're pushing it away subconsciously. Now think about that from this statement that I share with you. Actually, it's a question that I say with you a lot. And that is, will you be able to be happy most of the time if your mind is saturated with ideas of sadness and disappointment? What's the answer? No. You're never going to be happy if you say, I want to be happy. You've got to be happy. You're never going to be wealthy if you say, I want to be wealthy. Why? Because in that is the image of you not having it, and you're just reaffirming it again and again and again. If you believe yourself to be really good and you believe that wealth is evil, you will never, ever move into a life where there is wealth in your life. Now, think about what he's saying here. He's talking about how it all starts in the mind. A perfect knowledge perceives the action of law in the weakness of the oppressed and the misapplied power of the oppressor. A perfect love, seeing the suffering which both states entail, condemns neither. A perfect compassion embraces both oppressor and oppressed. See, he's talking about those who understand, literally see, they know not what they do. Now, that doesn't mean there isn't consequences that must be paid for behavior. What it is an emphasis, though, is on understanding the power of the subconscious mind. I mean, think in terms of, for instance, negativity. When negativity happens, it's not something that's willingly invited into our lives. It's something that's happening because of a paradigm that's running that's in harmony with it. This is why this book is so important. There's no such thing as self-sabotage. And if you don't have this one, you've got to make sure you have this and really engage with it. This is a liberator to help you to understand that all negativity is subconscious. And that the only thing you really let in, the only time you truly choose is when it has to do with things associated with the light. Now, before we proceed, for those of you who are watching this live stream and would love to continue with this and use it in your life to improve your results dramatically, then do yourself a favor and go to elevitality.com and register for Master Your Mind. And then also reach out if you want help to implement this, because this will change your life in a big way. All right, so now let's proceed and go even further.